Think about all those things you feel. Just be glad to be.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're as excited as I am to get to know our candidates a little better. I am Becca Blake, and I'm going to first start with our land acknowledgement, as we do with all TICOT events. So the Imperial Court of Toronto acknowledges that we are broadcasting this evening from the traditional territory of the many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, Métis peoples. The city also acknowledges that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaties signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. The Imperial Court of Toronto also has realms. Our realm also includes many other First Nations lands. All right. And we are thrilled to be able to be here tonight with getting to know our candidates better. The Imperial Court of Toronto is fortunate enough to have candidates for Emperor and Empress 35, and you're going to get to know them very well tonight. I'd also like to acknowledge that we are still in a pandemic, and most of us are spending a lot more time at home still and respecting mask rules and being vaccinated. Good evening, Your Majesty. Hello, Richard Dirk. And everybody else tuning in, hey, Brody, please say hi if you are watching. Also, please ask questions. And we, the candidates, my ICPs, will be thrilled to answer all of your questions. And I'm sure that they want to get to know you better too. So questions, comments, and I'm excited to get things going. Cheers if you drink, and raise your glass with some ginger ale or water if you don't. All right. I'll get the shakes away. All right. So I'd like to bring on our candidates. Please welcome candidate for Emperor David Valois and candidate for Empress Rochelle Valois.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Good
everyone.
evening.
I can see your shakes are starting to quiet down already.
Yes. No, I respond to beer very quickly. Oh, cheers to you. Rochelle, cocktail? Oh, nice.
Extra tall glass.
A water. All right. So I'm excited to be able to host this tonight and to, I probably know most of the answers anyway, but I hope you impress me or surprise me with some of the stuff you have planned or the preparation you've been putting in, and just whatever you want to talk about. Your Highness, David, anything you want to start off with?
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for those that are joining. And I hope you are going to pepper us with questions. We did receive a couple of questions in advance, but it's always good to have more. Hello to Ralph. Hello to Richard. Chantel. Hi. Brody. Hello. Good to see you all. Looking forward to spending an hour and a half with you this afternoon. Feel free to send your questions through on the public chat. I'm happy to answer anything and everything. So let's try to keep it above the belt if we can, but I'm open to answering anything. So thank you for hosting as well tonight, Becca.
My pleasure. And Rochelle?
Well, I would also like to reiterate the thanks for everyone that is tuned in to join us. Please ask us questions. I'm looking forward to sharing with you my plans and thoughts for the year if I am elected, and to talk about the things I have planned and what I see the vision is for our court and the ICS going forward.
Great. I'm going to start with a softball question. What are your favorite outfits? Rochelle, what's the favorite outfit you've worn in drag, or maybe, no, you're not going to tell us about something you've planned to wear. So you'll only tell us about something you've worn, I'm sure.
I would say to date, my most favorite gown to wear is my long black velvet one with the white lace on it, because it holds a special place in my heart.
You sound like this.
Because my mother-in-law, who's no longer with us, joined a stoning party with a bunch of other TICOT members. So that dress holds a special place in my heart because she's always with me when I'm wearing it. Yeah. So that's my favorite.
Lovely. And David?
I don't know. I'm going to top that one. I would say probably my most favorite outfit is sort of it's a period outfit. It's a Francis I outfit. It's a cream colored outfit with a red pants and cream with gold bullion. I've worn it to the red dress ball. I've worn it to a couple of coronations. I love the color contrasts in it, and the key thing about it is I can actually move in it. It doesn't have too much bling and blang, so I can actually move my arms and stuff.
Yeah, see, that was a question from Ricky Lake, Ontario. We'll move on to Ralph here. Ralph, thank you so much for all of your support during Reign 33, and we can't wait to see you at Coronation 35. I heard you coming. So what would be a major focus this coming, thanks, Rochelle, this coming year?
I would say for myself, my biggest focus here would be is just reconnecting, to reach out to our members that, the online space isn't an option for them. So we'll start doing more in-person events and really reach out to some of our members that may have not had the chance to join us on this, and also to really connect to other community groups and other social groups within Toronto. So I guess unity and communication and connection would be my focus points for this year.
Nice. Unity, communicate. Well, how are you going to turn that into a word for your house name? Okay. And David?
I would say similar. It's about outreach. It's about connecting. And certainly I think now that a lot of us are vaccinated, a lot of members are vaccinated, our ability to actually go out and interact with each other is that much more. And one of the things that I think we should do is we have a number of members that are technically challenged, may not have the right technology or may not know how to use the technology. to get into live streams and those sort of things. So I think it's a good idea for some of us that are younger and or more tech savvy to potentially meet up with, go out to some of our other members and actually help them join online. So when we have a live stream like this, actually bring them into the live stream, either as a watching party or potentially even a participant. I think there's a number of our members that would appreciate that and have not been able to participate as much as they probably would have wanted to. And I think it's time to reach out to them.
Absolutely. They claim to not have a phone, but I see them on Grindr. So that's yep. What a surprise, you two sharing the same goals and vision for what you'd like to accomplish throughout the year. It's lovely. It's like you might have talked about. So we look to favorite. Ricky's trying to figure out what he should get made because he's wanting to know about favorite colors and jewels and gems. So we will get to that whole list while we're still on the track of what we're focusing on. What would be your charities? Have you thought or have you picked or connected with any charities that you would like to make your focus for your reign?
I'll kick off and I'll let Rochelle add if I didn't cover what she wanted to cover. For me, there's really only two charities that I'm very close to and have been close to as a member of TICOT for a number of years. The first one, as always, PWA Food Programs. We have, as TICOT, had PWA as a charity of choice probably as long as TICOT's been around. And it's usually our primary charity, and I would absolutely love for that to continue. The other charity is Rainbow Railroad. I can never say it properly. Rainbow Railroad. There you go. And for me, that is it's a very impactful charity. Impactful such that in the way that when we presented a check to them a couple of years ago, I think Becca, it was at the beginning of your reign. I forget exactly when it was. Mm-hmm. A member of the organization came and actually talked to us about what it actually accomplishes, what a $10,000 donation does. And it literally saves lives. And I think that year we donated $20,000 to Rainbow Railroad. And, that sense of accomplishment and, that we've helped save 2 lives, I think it was such a, impactful time for me, impactful thing. Mm-hmm. So for me, those would be my 2 charities of choice.
Dwayne or Rochelle?
I would concur. Those are also charities I would have chosen. PWA, just because they are an amazing organization that also come out and support us as well. They're big supporters during our coronation time and during some other events. And just because of all the news you hear on, especially with the Taliban taking over places and what they're doing with homosexuals in other places of the world, I think it's really important that we focus on Rainbow Railroad and get more people talking about it and get more people safe and out of countries that you can be killed or murdered just for being who you are. It's just, we don't realize how blessed we are in this country until you start hearing stories like that.
I totally agree. And Afghanistan is a specific example that I was thinking about where the need is going to be even greater. Not that it wasn't already huge. Yeah. It's actually still illegal to even be us in a lot of the places in the world. Illegal.
To be exact.
It's not even it's not frowned upon or, you know what I mean? I think you'd be killed for it some places still.
There's a number of countries where you get the death penalty for being gay. Wow. Including a number of countries in Africa. So yes, it's bad. It can be bad.
I'd be like, I'm bi. You just caught me on the wrong day. Get on my. You think that counts? No. Okay. No. Amazing. So thank you both for being so sincere and honest. And I think those are great charities. We supported them during Reign 33 as well, when we worked together as an amazing team. So when we can travel again, where are you going? Where are you going? What you doing? Mm-hmm.
I'll start first. So I definitely want to make it to Vancouver's because they delayed their 50th So it's this year, so I definitely want to go to Vancouver's coronation. They are our mother court, and want to be there when they celebrate their 50th. And then I'll definitely do the diamond. So Waterfall, London, and Buffalo are always going to be my three that I'll always go to. I want to also go to Kentucky, Florida, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and San Francisco if possible.
So you're not going to really travel much. And David, where are you going? Well, she's away.
So I'll do the other side of the country. It'd be silly for me to say not the same courts because it's probably going to be the same ones. I would add probably Halifax. I would love to go to Halifax. I've never been to the East Coast, and I'd love to sort of combine a trip to the East Coast with a Halifax coronation. Not sure that we will actually have the ability to travel as extensively in the US. But if we can, certainly would love to, from my perspective, at least go to, I would say, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New York, if possible. And certainly in the Canadian courts would be Vancouver for the same reason. Plus, we have friends out there. I would love to sort of combine a trip to Vancouver and visiting friends with a coronation. So there's some social travel I want to combine with court-based travel, but yeah, those are probably the same places, I would say.
Okay, personal and court. So you're like, I'll just stay a few extra days here. Yeah. Or you'll go early. I don't know. I don't know how you like to do it. And, ooh, no, we'll get to that stuff. Yeah, fun. Let's start from the top. Fundamentally, why did you want to run? Why did you want to be candidates? Why do you want to be the emperor and empress? Rochelle?
So why I chose to run was being a past executive member. I was membership director once, actually membership director twice, but membership director, vice chair, or it was vice chair when I was it, now it's vice president, and membership director again. I'm really passionate about this group and this organization, and to have and being on the executive and as an elected monarch, you are part of the executive and you help steer and plan the year and just keep the organization successful and moving forward. So I just want to keep my involvement up and keep going. And I just felt this is my fifth year being part of the group, and I just thought it was the time, and it felt right for me to do it now. And I feel I'm ready and confident that I will do a good job and make all of you proud.
That's a good, yeah. No, I totally can relate to that. I'll let David answer before I ramble.
Sure, yeah. For me, I've been in the shadows. I've been in the background as treasurer for a number of years, and I've been in the background as the person that ties up the dress, or hands the wig, or does the jewelry. Ties up the jewelry, etc. And I think it's time for me to take a little bit more of an active role in the organization. Actually, more actively participate. I've had through my 5 years with the organization a number of incredible role models in emperors. Jason, the first year. Hunter, the second year. I'm sure Jason's there somewhere. Hunter, the second year, and then Randy, the third year. And certainly I've met many others, Ricky Lake, Ontario, Big Chris, etc., etc. I'm not naming them all. I've met many, but so if I haven't said your name, please don't feel left out. But it was interesting to see the energy that these people brought to the court, and while and how it helped drive the court through that year. And I think it's something that I've got the energy to do, and I'd rather do it now while I'm still young, and have the energy than potentially do it later. So that's why I'm running now.
Nice. And you wanted to have the same number probably as your wife. I totally understand, because I think I followed a similar path through the organization, reigning about 5 years after joining the group, and like being like holding similar board positions as Rochelle and that sort of thing. So literally the exact same ones, just 1 year before her.
I like to follow you, Becca.
Huh?
I like to follow you.
Yeah, I like that you like to follow me. Yeah, I think TICOT's fortunate to have you two as candidates, and yeah, the more that people like, you're traveling, because I know the outfits you two have planned, and just the way that you like to socialize, and the way you can converse with anybody is really fantastic. So I'm excited to see what you do when you're traveling to these other courts as well. What? I need 6 carry-ons because I have fur and a headpiece, and this beret cannot go in. So we moved along. During your time on the executive TICOT, what specifically, like, how did that prepare you?
I'll start with this one. I wanted, so getting onto the executive at the beginning was a little bit of a surprise. We hadn't actually planned to jump straight into executive. We and I got nominated in our first year, it was a bit of a leap of faith at that time, not knowing the organization, not having been with the organization very long. I thought at the time, and I think now, that it was a very, very good way of getting to know the organization, getting to know the ins and outs of who we are, what we are, how we do things, the things that we do, what's important to us as an organization, how we make money, how we engage with our members, what charities are we doing, like all that kind of stuff. So the mechanics of the organization, I think, was very important to learn. And was part of sort of the journey of understanding that, this is actually an organization that I want to be part of, an organization that I believe in passionately, and that I want to, and sort of as a result of that, want to, stand as the candidate for emperor and the face of the organization for a year. So for me, it was critically important to get to know the organization, and it was a key factor in my decision to actually run for emperor.
And Rochelle?
So I think for me, because I was like, if you haven't checked out our website, it's all new. So by recreating the website for the organization really got me to really understand the history and like the meaning behind some of the terms and all that. Because when I first joined, there was a lot of like terms being thrown around, a lot of titles being thrown around, and I felt like I entered like another world that were speaking a different language, because I knew what, obviously I knew what royal titles were, and I knew what those royal titles meant, but I didn't know what those royal titles meant within this organization.
Right.
By doing the website, being the membership director, and then the vice chair actually running an elections, definitely really prepared me for what I would need to do if I ever chose to do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I just like really learning the history of this group, and like seeing who started it and how long ago, and why the imperial court system exists, and just I don't think anyone can't hear the story of the ICS and not want to get involved. Like I don't know how you could not hear that story and not want to be part of it.
Right. And you can hear all about that story at TICOT.ca.
Yeah, exactly.
TICOT, TICOT. Yeah, you already know. You're here. And yeah, that's definitely, you should be very, very proud of the work that you've put in there, as well as you've created, I think, 3 or 4 event posters so far. So yeah. 4,000. Yeah. Okay. And speaking of legacy, the coronation is October 2nd. There's still a couple of tickets still for sale. You can buy those tickets on TICOT.ca or get in touch with the Rinky Lake, Ontario, Richard Dirk on social. He's in the comments. And $225 of the package. The Friday night is a live stream. If you are staying at the hotel, you're invited to an in and out of town viewing party. Otherwise, you can view from the comfort of your home or get together in other groups. And on the Saturday we're hoping for a traditional coronation day with hospitality at the hotel in the afternoon, then the ball, and then hospitality after. And Sunday brunch, typical things planned, and followed by a victory party, location to be announced. Yeah?
Yeah.
What besides?
So excited about coronation.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. What do you mostly excited about?
About coronation?
Yeah.
Well, I should say three things. One, getting to see people again. Earlier, last month, I think there were a couple of coronations that I could not attend because I was out of country at the time. So this will be my first in-person coronation, and I'm really, really excited about that. Secondly, I think Becca has frozen, so I hope she's still there. Secondly, getting to see the people, meeting a lot of people. I'm looking at some of the people I know that's joining us at coronation. I haven't seen them in 2 years. I would love to see them again and catch up. And then lastly, I would say is the opportunity to wear some of my outfits. I have a couple of new ones that nobody has seen yet, and I look forward to showing them.
I think we lost Becca for a bit, so I'm just gonna pop her off for a second, and I guess I'll continue to go on about what I'm looking forward to this coronation, just to be able to get back and see people again. I'm looking to finally do my step down performance as my ICP, so to actually step down and actually really get the full title and be put in the history books as the 33rd Imperial Crown Princess. And just seeing all the people and really looking forward to the opening number because you all know I love to dance because I'm such a dancing queen. So really looking forward to that.
Hey, we should have a rehearsal.
Yeah.
You and me and Nikki. We don't have three competing schedules.
Well, I think so. Yes. Can you include me in that rehearsal, please?
Pardon?
So I'm in it as well. So can you include me in the rehearsal, please?
You and Rochelle are supposed to rehearse your part, and then we're gonna learn the group part on Saturday morning.
Okay. Well, now I know.
Yeah.
I suppose that's the other thing I'm looking forward to is I'm going to be doing, I suppose, 3 performances. The one would be as part of opening number, participating. The second one is, I think, my candidate number, and this my step down number. So I've never performed as a boy before. My alter ego, Catherine, has performed a couple of times. So this is a bit of a new thing for me. We'll see how it goes.
No, I mean, you've been rehearsing. You've been practicing.
Yes, I have, I suppose.
Yes. I think if Rochelle has 3 numbers, I think I know one of them. Okay. A song you can never hear enough of. All right. Yes. All right. I'm going to go back to other people's questions here for a sec. Why is Empress 33 your favorite monarch?
That's not a question.
It's here in the questions.
Yeah, it's actually a question. It came from
Ricky. Yeah.
Why is Empress 33 my favorite? Why is Empress 33 my favorite?
Yeah, no, I'm teasing.
Okay.
Where's Billy? Good evening. I'm gonna say hello to some people. Hey, brother Billy. Hey, Maybella. Me and Pierre Court of Toronto is posting links. Ooh, Michaela. I hope that she gets to come. Good to see you. And Ricky and Mom.
Hi,
Mom. Hey, Mom.
Hi.
Okay. Ooh.
There's Ralph on the screen.
Pardon?
There's a question from Ralph on the screen.
Okay. Hey, Ralph. How do you plan to add to TICOT membership for the youth?
I guess
Rochelle.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Well, first define youth, because if you take the average current age of our membership, youth is a very easy description to add to. So one thing I plan on doing is reaching out to the gay sports leagues, because they're all ages and it's a wider range of a younger demographic, new up and coming professionals. And I think they'd be great assets to team up with them, do fundraising with their events, and see if we can get them on board with some of ours, and maybe pluck a few members out of them. That's one of the plans I have, to reach out to the youth.
So Rochelle says water sports. And David?
No, to be honest, Alex, I suppose no specific plans to target the youth. I think for me, the number one priority is just re-engaging the membership that we have and that we've had in the last number of years. We peaked, I think, in Reign 32, and then with 33, unfortunately, because of COVID, the number we just didn't. I think we got about halfway to where we were.
Yep.
In terms of number of members. So absolutely, I think we should expand the member base. But I would like to start with actually just getting back the members that we had that have not been engaged as much as they should have been or could have been in the last couple of years.
Very nice. Both very attainable and great plans. So thanks for thinking ahead on that. And I can't wait to participate in the sports. I like volleyball. If there's a diving team, I don't mind watching that. What do we? Football? I don't know. Do we do that?
Water polo. There's dodgeball. There's the soccer.
Yeah.
Rugby.
Yeah. Have you ever been part of any of these leagues other than bowling? I think we've all been part of bowling. No. Okay.
We know they're always on nights of the week that historically my job prevented me from being able to get to them, because it'd be like on a Monday night or Tuesday night at like 7 p.m. And historically my work, I could not get out that early
Right.
and still have energy to play a sport.
Right. Even bowling. It would be. I found the beer to be a motivational part of bowling, but I bowled on Sundays, and so it just made every Sunday fun day. Because if you're bowling with Patrick Matthew, you will be drinking today. Yeah. Yeah. Good old radar. We go. Given what you know about TICOT, is there anything you would do differently as Emperor or Empress? Maybe something you've seen. Of course, you've both had amazing examples of reigning monarchs with your time at the court, but maybe something you've seen that's like a common mistake that you want to try to avoid.
I'll start on that one.
Thank you, David.
I don't think there's necessarily any mistakes that I'd like to avoid. I think there's probably sort of two things that come to mind. The first one is, and we've actually had conversations when I was being executive on this topic around TICOT is not just about raising money. It's about being a social organization as well. And I think there are times when our constant drive to raise money is actually potentially alienating some of our members that may feel they cannot contribute in that way. So I would like us to add more emphasis on the social part. Obviously, not forget about the fundraising part, but certainly add more emphasis on the social part.
Great. What type of social activity? What are you thinking? Social part. What does that mean to you?
Barbecues, dinners, just stuff that brings us together without necessarily having to have performances and fundraising. And there's other ways we can raise funds. I mean, Rochelle was mentioning the sports leagues, and actually pairing up or teaming with other organizations to raise funds. that sort of brings to the fun experience of fundraising as well. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff we can do without necessarily having to be in a bar, having to add, hand money to a drag queen on the stage.
Excuse me, drag queen on the stage. You're next.
So I would also say I don't think I saw any mistakes. It's a volunteer charity group, so none of us are being paid. So I wouldn't call anything a mistake. I definitely want to focus on unifying the organization more. Try to get more of a family feel back. I know COVID's really distanced us all, and so I just want to be able to bring us back. I also want to do some non-charity social events. I was thinking of planning a ski trip for those members that do ski trip. So we can go to one of the gay ski weekends, either at Tremblant or Blue Mountain. I was also thinking of doing what I used to do when I was younger. Is we used to do friends of mine. We used to go to all those tiny little, well, not tiny little, all the little towns around Toronto, and we call it the bar crawl. So I'd like to go out to the little bars all around Ontario and just show up in full regalia and just support the bar and support the crowd there.
Surprise them or plan ahead?
Pardon?
Surprise them or plan ahead?
Plan ahead.
Okay.
I just, there's 30 queens with massive crowns coming in. Open up the doors because I want to give them heads up and
right.
But I don't want to take over their bar. I just want to say, do you have an event coming up? We want to come out and support you, and that's it. I don't want to take it over. I just want to support them.
Yeah, I get that. I'd also like to see members supporting the waterfall in London and Buffalo and the other. It'd be nice to see not just it's great to travel with you guys, but it'd be nice to see other, Toronto faces when we make our way out to those events. So people being engaged enough to want to travel, I think would also be lovely. Unless you want to travel alone. We don't know her. Okay.
Actually, you're making a great point. We as the Diamond Courts only really get together for formal events, investitures, coronations. Nothing stops us from having, a Diamond Court barbecue somewhere and get together. One thing I really enjoyed last year, when it was essentially the coronation step down of Miss Drew, we did a drive-by. We all went, jumped in cars and we drove to Hamilton and we did a drive-by.
Sorry. Anybody in America watching? Not that kind.
Yes.
It was a parade.
But beforehand, socially distanced, of course. Beforehand, we all met at a parking lot to get organized to do the drive. And it was just great to sort of hang around with people we don't normally see outside of coronations or investitures. So I think that'll be good to do that kind of stuff.
Yes, because we do all work together, and some of the waterfall team, as I know you've worked with them on producing some events and live streams and things as well, and it's always a lot of fun and Halifax, I know you participate in some of their stuff too. All right, Mom, hi back. Oh, Rachel, good night. Unless I have ignored you too long and you're already sleeping. Other side of Ricky wants to go to Aspen. I love that. Do you think there's enough of us that would want to go camping? Because I love camping, and that would give me a good excuse. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to the other list of questions here. How do you both feel? Feeling good? Feeling good about our chat? Feeling good? Looking good?
Yep.
All right, we had a question from Facebook earlier from Alan. What will you do to make your rain different from any other? How are you going to set it apart? David.
That's a tough one because all rains are different. All emperor, empresses, all monarchs, personalities are different. The flavor of the year is different. The last 5 years I've been involved with the court, no rain has been the same. So I would just say I'll just be me, and I'll have a lot of fun, and try to make it the most amazing year, and it'll be different just by way of having different monarchs.
I agreed. What Rain 33 was just like the rest, and and Michelle.
I would also agree that's like a difficult question to answer, especially considering we don't really know how the pandemic is going to play out. So I have lots of plans and ideas of what I want to do in an ideal situation, but it all depends on how COVID plays out and what are those things we can actually do and can't do. So yeah, I think Rain 33 was the most unique year because it got stopped partway through because of COVID, and then we went digital. So I definitely want to keep the digital component going, even though if we're fully open to bars. Because what I really liked about doing the live streams is that we were able to connect to a lot of members throughout the ICS that we normally wouldn't get to see. They can be involved more, and I really like this platform, and I think it's definitely something I want to continue if I am elected.
I'm denying all those event forms. And first you got to get elected. Okay. Katana, the Empress, current reigning Empress of the Waterfall Empire. What event do you look forward? Oh, I already have Rochelle's answer. David, what event do you look forward to bringing to TICOT?
Bringing back to TICOT, or just bringing back, period?
Either new, or maybe there's an annual event that you think that you want to mention?
Well, the event the event I probably enjoyed the most, it was actually the very first event that we attended, which was a state dinner with investiture, or investiture with a state dinner. Mm-hmm. But I really like the concept of a state dinner. And that's something that I know we had one in Reign 31. We had one in Reign 30. We had one in Reign 31. We didn't have one in Reign 32, if I recall. And certainly, obviously, not in 33. And yes. Not in 34. So it's been a few years. I love those. I think they're great events to just socialize and get to see a lot of people and just relax over a meal. And I'd like to bring that back for sure.
Perfect. Rochelle, do you want to correct David and promote Bring on the Flowers?
Yeah. So we've actually had a state dinner every year. 34 is the first year we haven't had one.
Thank you for the correction.
And yeah, but I want to bring back my Bring on the Flowers event, which is my spring event, where we have a fascinator competition, because y'all know I love a fascinator. And I hope to get it to become a signature event. So it'll be kind of like, leave it as a little legacy of the Rochelle Valois left her stamp on the organization.
Stamp.
Well, another stamp on the organization.
There's a question from Richard in the chat. It's not a steak dinner; it is a state dinner.
Feel free to eat the fish.
It goes hand in hand.
You could have sausage or fish or anything you'd like. It doesn't have to be steak. Oh, that is so Valois. Yes. That's gonna be a thing. Do you have a hashtag already in mind, Rochelle?
Well, I know there's already one that exists, which is hashtag Tickle Me Valois, which got started, I think, from the Waterfall coordination, the first one I attended because the plumes I had off the back of my fascinator were about almost 3 feet, maybe a little longer. And I was constantly tickling everyone in the ballroom. So hashtag tickle me Valois. Yeah, I actually want to make that one blow up.
Okay. Tickle me Valois.
Yeah, it's going to be trending. I'm going to make it trending.
Are you running for Reign 35 because that's the maximum you would ever let your waist get? So Ray Byers, question for the two of you. He wants to know about your strength and your weakness and how that relates to you being as successful as a monarch, if you are successful as the candidate. David.
This is one of those questions I hate. It's always the question that gets asked in an interview: strengths and weaknesses. I start with my weakness. I'm a perfectionist. I'm a stickler for perfection, and that sometimes gets in my way. And I have to continuously work against my nature, which is everything's got to be perfect. So that I would say that that's generally my weakness. My strength is I suppose the opposite of that. I'm a very structured person. I'm a very ordered person. I have good business experience, and I think I can bring that experience to TICOT as an organization. I did already as part of it at Treasure bring some of that to the organization. I think I can certainly bring some more of that to the organization. So yeah, I would say those are the two main things. I'll let Rochelle take it over.
That is a standard interview, like work interview question. And actually my standard answer actually really applies to this as well. So my weakness is that I tend to take a lot on my plate and sometimes overload it. And my strength is that when I'm challenged and things get tough, I hunker down and work even harder. So I think I demonstrated all of those skills and traits when I was an executive member, both as membership director and vice president. And I know that those skills and traits will definitely help me excel as an Empress and be value assets to the organization.
Love it. And what does the phrase "crown your heart, not your head" mean to you, Rochelle?
So I think it falls on the it kind of goes to the candidate question that gets on: are you going to reign or are you going to rule? And I didn't get asked that question, so I'll answer it now. So, and it'll tie it in. So my answer to be, I would do neither. Ruling obviously implies that you are going to tell everyone what to do, and you'll be very very bossy. And reigning implies that I'm royal and above anyone else. And I don't see the Empress role as an above. I see it as an equal. And I'm just a visible representation of our court when we travel. So I would do neither. And so crown the heart, not the head. I feel that is how I am. I'm not here for the titles. I'm not here for the jewelry. I'm really part of this organization because I am proud of what it stands for and I'm proud that I'm a member of it. And I just think that the Empress is the next step. So I will definitely be crowning my heart.
David, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, well, I'll answer it from my perspective. I love TICOT. I love what TICOT stands for. I love the people in TICOT. I love what we as an organization have accomplished. And frankly, what we as an organization can still accomplish, in the coming years. I'm a member of TICOT, whether I'm emperor or not. So for me, it's about the organization, what the organization stands for. Similar to what Rochelle is saying, It's not about titles. Although I know that, every year somebody needs to stand up and, step forward and be that visible representation of the organization. And I'm willing to do that. I think it's time. I know enough of the organization. I'm ready. And I'm willing to step forward and do that for the organization.
Well, thank you. Thank you both. And Thursday, September 30th is National Day of Reconciliation. As the day before coronation weekend, what are you doing on this day? Rochelle.
Well, it's not a statutory holiday, so I'll be working.
Me too.
Because our lovely premier decided to not make it a stat holiday when all the other provinces did. But I don't want to get political. So I'll be working, and I did plan to leave work early because typically the Thursday would be our in-town show. So I planned to leave work early so I could attend in-face, in persona. But now that that's not happening, I guess I'm going to put in a full day's worth of work.
And David, is there a way that you're observing that day?
So I'm in banking, so I'm not working that day. It is a federal holiday, so we are off that day. And by the way, it's been an incredible amount of work just to try and get, set up a new statutory holiday in the bank. And things have to be shut off for that day, which doesn't normally happen. So it's been a lot of work to get ready, organizationally for that. We at the bank, and certainly myself, are going to be very actively participating in a whole series of events that entire week, starting on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We are encouraging, and I will myself participate, people to wear orange in solidarity. And we have a number of events, conversations, etc. On the topic of reconciliation, etc. So I plan to spend that week in a very solemn way, recognizing what's happened in this country, and the need for that day, and certainly. I think going into a coronation weekend immediately after, there'll be that tone of solemnity to the coronation weekend as well, I'm sure.
I absolutely. Who's inspired your drag? David, do you have the name of some of these officers?
Inspires my drag. That's a tough question. I would say really two people, and it's really Jason the Just, or Jason, in that he's the first person that was the emperor when I entered in the court system. He's always got the most amazing crowns and jewelry and stuff. And while I'm not a crown and jewelry kind of guy, it really sort of sets a bar, and that sort of inspired me from that perspective. The other person is Hunter, Emperor 22, 29, and 31 of TICOT. I've seen some older pictures of Hunter when he was wearing uniforms more frequently, and certainly looking at the way they prepared for and dressed for coronations, etc. Both Hunter and Morgan is inspiring. So I'm sort of competing, if you will, with Hunter in trying to step into the shoes that he's left. So I would say those two are the ones that inspire me the most.
Love it. Rochelle, you got to make sure it's matchy. If he's going for the couple look,
So I don't say there's a person that inspires my drag look or drag aesthetic. I classify myself as a period queen. So the styles and looks that came out of the 1940s, particularly the French 1940s, really like that the aesthetic, and that's all my wigs have done that from that era. I try to make all my outfits look period, even though some of them aren't. So I wouldn't say there's a person that inspires me, but an era that inspires me. So the French 1940s.
Okay. How are you going to get people to announce your last name correctly when you walk at coronations? David.
Spell it phonetically, I suppose. I think we've managed to train a few, teach a few in terms of how to pronounce it. I don't know. I think the important thing is run up to the person that's doing the announcements beforehand and sort of make them repeat it 10 times, and see if you can sort of get them to say it properly. I believe, Rochelle, and correct me if I'm wrong here, the last big coronation we attended, it was written phonetically on the list.
It was, but they still.
It was a series of bastardizations of announcements. Like it for sure was not personal on that one.
No, I know it's not personal. Yeah.
We know about the importance of staying connected as the Diamond Courts and, of course, the international court system. I know from talking to both of you that getting together as Canadian courts and being a more formative, connected group is important to you. Do you have a plan on being able to connect more with the Western Canadian courts?
So I think one of the advantages, so I'll jump in, is this platform. We've been able to connect to a lot of the ICS people that we normally wouldn't be able to share events. So I think what I plan to do is to reach out to all of the Canadian courts and plan a live stream dedicated to that court. And so they can bring up their members and we get to see members that we wouldn't normally get to see and, really shine a light on the Canadian court system.
Very, very nice. I want to see Shayla and Michaela. Have they been together in the same live stream before? No. Okay. And
is that a challenge, Becca?
And I'm just also thinking about who either one of their emperors is. Oh, I'll be back.
I know Shayla did not have an emperor. She ran by herself. And I'm not positive about Michaela's reign if she went by herself or had an emperor. Should we ask the questions or? Oh, she's back.
She's back? Wonderful.
Hi. So we went through I didn't put my name in this time. It's too bad. David, just wear a mask during your performance and have some dancers. I don't know if he means just a mask or a mask so that you don't even have to know the words, or I'm sure Ricky.
I think it's maybe a combination of both.
Yeah, I think so too.
All the advice that Ricky gave me in the campaign open video is to wear as little as possible. So maybe he's trying to get me to just wear a mask. But actually wearing a mask and not being able to know the words, that's a good tip, Ricky. Thank you for that.
No problem. The standard is just list some fruit. Watermelon,
watermelon, peaches, pears, and plums.
What is this?
Watermelon, peaches, pears, and plums.
Yeah, that does it too. Mm-hmm. What was the other one? If I could turn, no. Yeah. Do either of you do any drag impersonations? David, you ever impersonated?
I participated at a parade in Paris where I was impersonating, as part of one of my uniforms, the Emperor of Austria as part of a Napoleonic reenactment. I suppose that's as much of impersonation as I've done. It's interesting when I do wear a uniform, I do take on a persona while I'm in that uniform, but not necessarily a particular persona.
Love it. And Rochelle, have you?
So I haven't done an impersonation yet. There is a number that I keep wanting to do at the Old Fudge, but either I'm not around when Old Fudge happens, or COVID canceled it twice in a row. So that's an event I'm looking forward to coming back, is Old Fudge, so then I can finally do the performance / impersonation that I've always wanted to do.
Got it. Love it. Old Fudge is a very fun event, and I'm glad that it continued. We did it as an auction this year.
Yeah.
And still that was a successful event, but clearly not the same kind of shenanigans that we all want to get up to for that kind of thing. Prince Steve says, hi. Hi, Steve.
Right.
And hello, Victor. A French, yeah, maybe just tell people that it's French. Valois, it's French. No? Like, these people are used to some French words.
I've had French people pronounce it wrong, though.
There's two parts that's pronounced wrong. David's easy, but it's either Rochelle or Rachel.
Yes.
And the other part is obviously Valois.
Yeah.
But if you write it Vilwha, Valois, people typically say it correctly. So
great. I can't wait. Yeah, Jinja had a rough go. I thought that JINJAH was like full on English, like that is phonetic. No, that was a struggle bus for people.
Like AA,
huh?
Like Ron?
Ron?
It's a double A.
Yeah.
Yes. Aaron.
Oh, this is so great. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about? Rochelle.
There's one other question that Ricky wanted to know. We could probably get to that one. Let me bring her up. Wait, no, passed it. It was the jewelry and color one.
Oh yeah, he wants to know like your favorite pet, the day of the week your first chest hair came in. Like it was, he was dying. Were you both virgins when you got married? So we go to.
No.
So, is there a certain stone or gem that you connect with, David?
I've always loved rubies. When I used to play Dungeons and Dragons as a kid, my character was a dark elf, and my stone was a ruby, and I just sort of liked the black and red color scheme, which is why I've got black and red on at the moment. Colors, for the rain, if I were to choose colors, I'd probably choose blue and silver. That's the colors I like the most at the point in time. I find there's a lot you can do with blue and silver. Black and gold and red and gold tend to be a little bit more limiting. So I would say my colors probably would be blue and silver. Stone would be ruby. I think that was the question, correct? Or was there animal? There was a question about animal.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. If you could be any animal, what would you be?
I'm a cat person, I suppose. Actually, a Sphinx cat, not just any cat.
We knew you weren't going to be a house cat. Okay.
I say that because Rochelle has banned me from ever talking about that kind of cat, and I will never own one. I love Siamese, specifically seal point Siamese. So if I were to pick an animal, it would be a Siamese. But from a rain perspective, no specific preference to an animal.
Okay. Rochelle?
So my favorite color is blue, because it's the only one I can see properly. So if you don't know, I'm colorblind. So blue is blue sapphires is my favorite stone color.
Mine too.
And what was the other? Gem, so sapphire blues, yeah. Animal. I like the wildcats, like leopards and jaguars and mountain lions and lynx.
Okay. A sphinx and a lynx.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are my animals.
Really? I saw you more as a bull gerbil. Okay.
Actually, I have cheetah on this necklace, so.
What is it?
It's a cheetah,
Oh.
I think.
Oh, I see it. I see it. The silver is cheetah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I see. Gorge.
Yeah.
That's a nice necklace.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just something cash, you know. Okay. Good. We answered the questions that are currently written down. I asked you all the question as a member of the board in your interview. And do you remember what that was? How do you think you'll measure success? So how will you know at the end of Reign 35 that what you did was what you meant to do? Or is there any like benchmarks or measurable things that you will know you did a good job? Rochelle?
I don't think there's a quantifiable number that would make me feel like success. I would just know. To me, I knew I would have a successful reign if at the next year people were talking about how much fun they had that year. It's like, oh, that was a really fun year. If those are the comments I hear about my reign, then to me that will be a successful reign.
Sure. David?
I'm saying the same. I think being a perfectionist, I will probably beat myself up around, has it been a perfect year or not? But at the end of the day, it's about having fun. And, if people talk about it having been a great year and having had fun, I think it would be a success.
Absolutely. I do think if we don't hit 100 members, I'd be like, what the fuck? And if, or if we only raise $11,000 by next August or something, you'd be like, guys. So it's not about either of those things. Of course, it's about the fun and the engagement. And I also think it's just a feeling that you have of, yeah, that was time well spent, and I can be proud of what I did.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's about being able to say, yeah, I'm proud of the year and what we've accomplished. For me, the membership count is obviously an easy metric. But I think we have to add on top of that actually engaged, active members, not just a name on a list. I think that to me, if we can get the number of active, engaged members up, that will be great from a success perspective. And obviously, we want to blow the record off in terms of what we raise for charities. At least save at least 2 people through Rainbow Railroad. So, that's probably a target we'll set. But at the end of the day, it's about having fun.
You'll definitely want to keep Ricky as your treasurer. Yeah, he is known for keeping track of all the places that money was raised for that Reign total. Just a half shade, but also a Ricky, stay on board. So Michelle, this has been so good. Yes?
I already answered it.
I know. I said this has been so good to talk through. I got something. All right. And I'm back. So is there anything you want to add to before we start wrapping things up?
Well, answer Ricky's question. What does the Valois name mean?
Okay.
So how I came about it, because I chose the name first. When I knew we were playing the game of royal titles, and I knew that I wanted to be French, I just went on Google and researched the French female family lines, and Catherine Valois was actually the first. She was the royal was on her side of the family, so it actually changed the French crest for that year. Because if the royal line is on the female line, the fleur-de-lis goes from blue to red. So that's why. So it just sounded perfect. Like, oh, she's the French one, and the royalty comes from her house. So it's like, so House of Valois.
Yeah. I know the Jameses also. Morgan was first.
Right.
Yeah, like Hunter became a James after her. So yeah, because you would just assume we're a patriarchal type thing, right? So
yeah,
yes. Women are really in charge, but we're all men in dresses. And so, and David, is there anything about the significance or history of the Valois name you want to add?
No, I mean, I took the name because my wife took the name. It would be weird if I wasn't part of the same house. So I took the name. The Valois was one of the original French royal lines. They were, if you know the French history, they're part of the Capetian dynasty, and they were before the Bourbon. Which we all know, Louis 1516, a guy that got his head chopped off, etc. were the Bourbon line. The Valois were before them. So we sort of picked a royal line. I suppose I helped pick, looking going through the history, a line that is extinct at this point, in terms of the male line at least. But it was nice to have that sort of connection to history.
And even how you approach that is kind of similar to how Jose chose to be the Widow Norton type thing, where you're actually digging up real historical figures in order to create your current persona. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe somebody will be digging up about Rochelle and David like 100 years from now, or more.
TICOT still exists 100 years from now.
Well, I've already signed up to Reign again for Reign 52. So you two can do it 6 times between now and then. And, okay. Love it. And are there any questions that we missed?
Nope, I think we've got all the questions.
Okay. And
there was one question around what was your highlight, one highlight and one low light of your experience in the court system.
Okay.
So for me, the highlight was, frankly, the very first event I went to, which was Investiture 1 of Reign 30. And it's a highlight because I just got to meet so many amazing people, and I'm here today because of the people I met at that event. And I'll always hold that dear to my heart. In terms of low light for me, the day the world shut down with COVID and we had to cancel out our trips. We had a number of coronations planned. We had our flights booked to go to, I believe, Kentucky and Rhode Island, if I'm not mistaken. And to cancel those flights and knowing we were not going to be able to go was very disappointing. I was so looking forward to it. So I would say that would be my low light.
Of course. And Rochelle, do you have a highlight and a low light?
Definitely have a highlight, and that would be the first coronation I attended, which would be Coronation 31, which was Nikki and Jason Step Down. Their theme was burlesque, and I took the theme very literal.
Your bare ass.
Yeah, my ass was out. And I had a lot of fun creating that outfit and that persona, and it was my first real big makeup attempt. So that's definitely my highlight. I don't necessarily have a low light.
I think the low light was looking back on photos of your makeup at that point, more recently.
Yes, my makeup journey has been a journey. But I'm not embarrassed to show those photos and show my growth and my glow up. So Well, you learn something now, right?
This is the worst I've ever looked. I always, from the first time I started drag, it was flawless. I can't relate.
I can't believe.
Oh God, I would never show. Anyway, you can find them. You did look amazing though, and just your confidence and just you were so happy to just be out and be in drag. And I especially love like that little black number that you chose the first time that you performed when we were at Good Handies.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You were not Rochelle yet at that time, were you?
No.
Yeah.
She was a racial slur. That was her warm-up name.
You just dead named her, Becca.
Pardon?
You just dead named her, didn't you?
Well, we're all allowed to do that. Yeah. I'm called Ginger when I'm not behaving.
I was very happy when Rochelle donated that dress, the racial dress. I forget who you gave it to, Rochelle.
Dexter.
But I
Nice.
yes, I'm very happy when you donated that. That was the end of Rachel Schlitter.
Yeah, I folded up in a little bag about the size of this phone. That's how tiny the dress was.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of material.
No.
Like 3 straps basically. Yeah.
Love that dress, but
Yeah, love that dress. I'm sure you'll get a recreation at some point.
Yeah.
They're probably very hard to find. One of a kind.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah. This has been
$10. I think that dress cost me $10.
Yeah. One of your more expensive drag. Yeah, you are such a deal hunter when it comes to drag. So
yeah,
whatever you save on clothing, you can spend on makeup and jewelry. That's the rule.
Yeah.
And so, and the rest of the savings can be spent on uniforms. That's not $1 more, David. Rochelle, do you want to do like a closing statement before we sign things off?
Sure, I'll do a closing. So, actually, while doing the closing statement, I'm going to pop something up on the screen. So, in my closing statement, I hope that you've enjoyed this show, and I hope that everyone shows up on Saturday, September the 18th, between 11:30 and 1:30. We're doing in-person voting for all non-members. So that's anyone who lives within TICOT's realm. So it's basically anything northwest of Mississauga. You are able to come to the Second Cup on Church Street and vote. Just make sure you have a photo ID. If there's your driver's license and it does have your address on it, you can use that as your proof of residence. Otherwise, if your ID does not match where you live, just bring a piece of mail that matches the name on your photo ID, and you can vote. So voting is open to everyone in the realm. I'm hoping to have the largest turnout of voting in our history. So that's one of the little goals I set for myself. If you have any questions or want to know more of what I plan for the year, you can always hit me up on any of my social media. You could follow me at Rachel Velaw _ on both Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So hit me up on my social medias, DM me if you have any questions or if you want to get involved in anything coming up.
Love it. She calls herself Rachel. So that yes. So please come in and vote. If you are a member, you will receive an email, and it will give you the opportunity to vote online. If you are a community member or a resident of the realm and you want to come out and vote, you can do that at the Second Cup, 11:30 to 1:30 on a Saturday. What time is campaign close event?
Campaign close event is next Friday, which is the
17th.
17th, 8 p.m. sharp. 8
a.m.
sharp.
We're doing it. I want to see Rochelle get up to put her makeup on at 8 a.m. for an 8 a.m. show.
Never going to happen. Yeah, so it'll be on the same channel. So both on our YouTube and our Facebook page will be the campaign close, and that is next Friday.
Love it. And so we have a campaign close. We have voting on the Saturday between 11:30 and 1:30, the second cup, or online. And then on the Sunday, the 19th, our newest title holders, the Miss Trillium, Lily Devine, and TICOT's Entertainer of the Year, Ms. Peaches, are co-hosting the event along with Rachel Temptation and Empress Nikki Chin. And that will be at the Well, I believe, 9 to 11 on Sunday the 19th.
Yes. And it is a TICOT open stage, so anyone can perform.
It is?
It is.
No, I thought it was a curated show.
So hit up Nikki Chin on all of her social media and ask
if you want to perform, message Nikki.
Yeah, if you're going to perform,
she'll either include you or give you an excuse on why no, not you. And that's perfect. That's how a curated show works, kids. And then on Monday, if you haven't already voted, you this weekend during the advance polls on Monday, September 20th is the official day for the federal election, and y'all should vote. You live in Canada, you should be voting.
Keep voting for the federal election. The number of voting stations has been significantly reduced. So the recommendation is to actually do advanced voting. You can do so at the Wellesley Community Center just down the street here. And because as I said, the number of polling stations has been reduced this year compared to previous years. So you may have to travel quite a bit to get to a polling station. So advanced polling at the Wellesley Community Center is the recommended option for most people.
My advanced polling station is at a trash location that you're all going to be at on October 2nd. Because my advanced poll is the courtyard. I'm just being funny. And that's how close I live to the hotel that we're holding coronation at. It is the advanced polling station for my building. So, again, I think they're running like all weekend, 9 to 9. Yeah, I think tomorrow and Monday as well for advanced polls. So get out there, people. Vote. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And anything else? David?
Closing statement from me, I suppose. Well, firstly, I would just say, and just to emphasize what Becca said, members will receive an email with a personal login and link on this coming Wednesday at 9 p.m. at night, I believe. And they can use that link to vote online. And they can do voting online until, I think, 9 a.m. on Saturday, the 18th. That's when the in-person voting will be in the afternoon, 11:30 to 1:30 at the second cup. So members can either vote online or they can vote in person on Saturday. As closing statement, I would just say that please vote for me, vote yes for me, and certainly won't disappoint. It's important. I think this organization is important. I'm willing to commit a year of my life as a person as face of this organization to really sort of help us come through the pandemic. And I would ask for your vote, please, and please vote on either online or on Wednesday.
Saturday.
Saturday. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think anything's happening on a Wednesday, but all right. Do you want to make a final plea, Rochelle? Just vote yes. Live it up. All right. Thank you both for choosing to submit your names as candidates, for all the work you've done. It's been a pleasure to work with you. I hope that I can support your reign, and if you are successfully elected, and I can't wait to throw the crown on one of your heads if it all goes as planned. And I'm also so excited to see everybody at Coronation 35. and celebrate reigns 33 and 34. Nikki Chin has also been doing an amazing job promoting the court, staying connected, staying relevant, being gorgeous, and as she just naturally does, as well as the hard work of her ICPs and producing all of those tote bag auctions. Again, all this will be celebrated. Upcoming, we will have a coronation auction. It'll launch in and around the 15th of September. Keep your eye out for all those amazing things, and that'll close on Friday, October 1st. And as a kickoff to Coronation Weekend, you will see Nikki Chin and I co-hosting the Internet of Town show on a live stream. I believe we're doing 7 to 9 on the Friday after hospitality, which will be at the Well. Again, all this, you'll be shocked to know, all this information is on TICOT.ca. And you can check that out, as well as if you want to get a last minute add in, or if you think we got a super out of date photo of you, you could send that in. So again, TICOT.ca. Thank you to both of our candidates. Thanks to all you people for watching and participating, and for Ricky for being curious about your underwear. And so again, thank you everybody. Have a wonderful night, and can't wait to see you either at Coronation or one of the events we mentioned, or at least out voting or commenting next time on the live stream. So